recent years, large language models like ChatGPT have captured global attention. From crafting poems and fixing code to planning your next getaway, they show a dramatic leap in what AI can do. These models are transforming the way businesses function, drive innovation, and create value. So, I'm going to take a closer look at foundation models, the powerful technology that powers LLMs. I'll break down how they function, what makes them game changing, and how companies are putting them to work to streamline operations, tailor customer interaction, and fuel innovation in science. By the end of this particular video, you will have a clear understanding of both the real world application driving their adoption and the hurdles organizations must navigate to unlock their full potential. For a long time, the standard approach in AI was straightforward: one model per task. If you wanted to filter out spam emails, you had to build a model specifically trained on thousands of labeled examples. If you needed to analyze sentiment, you would start from scratch with a new model trained on customer reviews or tweets. While effective, this method was time consuming, costly, and not very scalable. This all changed in 2021 when researchers at Stanford recognized a fundamental transformation underway. They introduced the term foundation models to describe a new kind of AI system trained on varied, huge datasets using unsupervised learning. Rather than creating a separate tool for every individual task, this approach builds one powerful, flexible system capable of handling many. Think of it like creating a multifunctional tool instead of a toolbox full of single use gadgets. One model trained broadly can adapt to all kinds of jobs, for example, ChatGPT-3. It wasn't built just to answer questions or write blog posts. Instead, it learned from a huge dataset, about maybe 45-50 terabytes of content drawn from books, websites, source code, and even forums like Reddit and Quora. By recognizing patterns in text, math, and logic, it developed a kind of general purpose capability that allows it to do everything from analyzing legal document to writing Python script. So, how do these models actually learn? Think of it like teaching a child to read not by drilling grammar rules but by immersing them in stories, conversations, and songs. Over time, they naturally pick up on patterns. They start to understand that once upon a time, quote unquote, usually begins with a fairy tale, or that a question mark means someone's asking something. Foundation models learn in much the same way. During pre-training, they are exposed to vast amounts of raw, unstructured data without any labels or explicit guidance. Their core task is simple: predict the next word in a sentence. But this is where it gets interesting. By repeatedly performing this task, the model does not just memorize words, it absorbs grammar, factual knowledge, and even basic reasoning. So when you ask ChatGPT something like, why do leaves change color in the fall? It does not look up a stored answer. Instead, it generates one in real time, word by word, based on the knowledge it gathered about chlorophyll, seasonal changes, and maybe photosynthesis as well. Generating text might grab the headlines, but the real strength of foundation models lies in their use cases. They are not just good at writing, they can also classify information, summarize content, translate languages, and even reason through complex tasks. Two techniques make this possible. One is fine tuning, and second is prompt engineering. Let us talk about fine tuning first. Fine tuning: think of a foundation model as a generalist trained on vast amounts of text. To specialize it, say for the medical field, you expose it to research articles and doctor patient conversation. By tweaking its internal parameter, a method known as transfer learning, the model adapts to its new role, identifying symptoms, interpreting lab results, or explaining treatments. This is how companies like Nuance build AI systems that assist radiologists using models like GPT-4. And then there is prompt engineering. What if you do not have labeled training data? And that is where prompt engineering shines. By crafting smart inputs, you can guide the model's behavior. For example, if you want to assess customer sentiment, a review might say the camera quality is terrible. Now, the question is the sentiment positive, negative, or neutral? The sufficiently trained model, trained on enough of such reviews, will respond with negative. No additional training needed. Naturally, not everything is fine. There are some serious challenges to consider. And the first one is cost. Building models like GPT-4 is not cheap. It takes thousands of high end GPUs and costs in millions and billions. Even using these models can be pricey. A single ChatGPT query can cost roughly 10,000 times more than a standard Google search. Second is bias and safety risk. Remember that Microsoft Tay, the chatbot that spiraled into offensive behavior in just a few hours? Foundation models can reflect the worst parts of the internet since that is where much of their training data comes from. Biases, misinformation, and toxic language included. And because this model often operate as black boxes, it is hard to pinpoint why they produce problematic outputs. Third is environmental concern. Training just one large language model can generate as much carbon dioxide as 5 cars do over their entire lifetimes. While some startups are exploring eco-friendly green AI option, the environmental footprint of these models is just a major issue. Foundation models, they are not just the latest buzz. They are reshaping the very core of how businesses operate. Organizations that learn to harness techniques like prompt engineering, fine tuning, and responsible AI practices will lead the future. Those who do not adapt may end up like Blockbuster in the age of Netflix. But it is not only about staying competitive, it is also about doing the right thing. How do we push the boundaries of innovation while keeping people safe? How do we make sure the impact of AI is widespread, not limited to big tech? Share your thoughts. I would like to hear what you think. Thank you and goodbye.